I am Tara.
Hi, person.
This is Jack. And I'm Jill.
Jack and Jill went up the hill. Fetch a pail of water. Have you ever gone up the hill to fetch a pail of water with Nan?
Mm-hmm. No. When?
When did you go up the hill?
Did we fall down?
Do you not remember?
When?
3 years ago, we went up the mountain and I fell down.
All right, Mom and I are the authors of the Dining on a Dime cookbook where you can eat better, spend less. This week we have Dining on a Dime, Penny Pinch and Mama, and Menus on a Dime for $29. This is the cheapest it is. The cheapest it will ever be because we are not reprinting these, at least not in this form, if we reprint them. So grab your copy today if you want a really good deal. $29. We've never had it this cheap before, so grab it while you can. Also, if you're just joining us, we are giving away 2 books that are
How'd you have those?
signed by Mom and me. We have 2 copies that we're giving away later in the show, so stay and watch the show. This is only for the live show, not for later, so sorry if you're watching this later. We today just decided to go right ahead and step in it.
Well, thanks for warning me. Thanks for warning me. I don't have my boots on.
So we're talking about advice for single moms. Mom raised 2 teenagers on $500 a month. That was after she became sick, and before she became sick, she paid off $35,000 of my dad's debt in our house on $1,000 a month income as a single mother. Penny Pinch and Mama, which is on sale with the 3-book set, is her tips and tricks that she used to do that. So it's 500 ways I lived on $500 a month, okay?
Crystal says you both look lovely in blue.
Thank you.
And
hi.
how much was your shirt yesterday?
It was $2 and something.
At the thrift store. Looking very nice there, Mother. All right, so we're going to get started with our cheesy potatoes. Now, if you want this recipe, it is in Dining on a Dime cookbook, and this is a meal that Mom would make all the time.
I love this recipe. I really do. It's one of my favorites.
Page 180, right here. Page 180 in Dining on a Dime cookbook. This was one of her single mom meals. And really, it's pretty easy. I mean, it's really not rocket science, but you just peel 1 potato per person. Now, did you ever make extras to have leftovers for this?
Oh,
or
yes.
did you just cook the 1 potato per person?
Make extra for leftovers, especially if you're single. Be sure to, they're really good warmed up, so make extras. And you know, I like scalloped potatoes, but
kind of a pain to make.
It takes a little bit more work. And one of the main things I always did is, well, as a single mom, as a working mom, we're talking about single moms, but really all the tips we do, I have been, what, a homemaker, stay-at-home mom. I have been a single mom. I've been a working mom. I've been on Social Security. And all the tips that we give you guys is tips I've used through all those stages. You know, they're all the same. And so I hate putting it in categories because you use these for everybody.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. These tips help everybody.
Yeah, that's why I have a little bit trouble when Tara says, okay, we're going to talk about working moms or single moms, because they all work for everybody. And if you're a single guy, these work for you. You know,
Single dad.
Yeah, so they really, they do. With the scallop, why I'm saying all that is with the scalloped potatoes, you have a little bit extra ingredients in there. It takes slightly longer to make the scalloped potatoes, and so you save money by not having more ingredients. You save time by not having to make the elaborate. And these, you know, Tara and I were, this is so off the subject, you're going to kill me.
Okay, hold on before she says that. We're slicing up the potatoes in our casserole dish, and then I'm going to dot it with butter and put it in the microwave for 5 minutes. Okay?
And now I forgot what I was talking about.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I knew that would happen.
What was I saying about these potatoes?
Oh, I forgot my apron.
Oh my goodness. We have to just brush that show all over again now, don't we?
This is a travesty. Tara, baked cooking without
I
an
totally
apron.
forgot what I was talking about.
Let's see. What were you talking about? What were we talking about?
We are so tired. I don't even know if I'm sitting in an upright position at
Mom
this
had
point.
to take Grandma to the doctor today, and
I've
then
been gone since
we had
8
to go pick up
o'clock
our
this morning.
car that was in the shop again. We've had a car in the shop almost every day since we've been home. We haven't had this many car problems for a long, long time.
I know what I was going to say is we were talking not too long ago. I think we did this on another show too. My mom and I were discussing this. People love, when they taste this recipe, they love this recipe. And a lot of, like our mashed potatoes, we just have plain old mashed potatoes or just a plain tossed salad. People always compliment us on our recipes, and I couldn't figure out why, because we don't do anything fancy, no fancy sauces, no fancy spices or anything. And I finally dawned on me that they like tasting just the food. They like tasting the potato. When you have some of these other things, they have the mixture of milk and different things all mixed together with the different spices, and you get the taste of the spices, which is good. And you know, I'm not saying don't ever do that, but sometimes it's nice just to have the taste of the real food, the potato itself, to taste what that tastes like. And so if you're having to cut back on things for your family and do things like that and not spend on spices and extra ingredients, don't feel guilty about it, that you're not getting good tasting food for your family, because that's not, you know, what's happening. That was not the subject, and I'm sorry I got off on that.
Well, no, that is part of the subject actually, because it's part of the tips.
It's one of the ways to save money. If you're struggling single mom, you can't try to do everything. Like whatever, you know.
So if you're just joining us, Dining on a Dime Cookbook, page 180 is the cheesy potatoes. So what am I having for dinner? Cheesy potatoes, which microwave for 5 minutes just to get them started. I got hamburger patties on here, and then we have some fresh strawberries that we happen to have. Actually, these are freshly frozen strawberries that I had. I don't know if you guys remember a couple of months ago, one of my videos on processing the strawberries. That was it. So
now, do you do those in the oven too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I do.
So that's going to be our dinner. As soon as these are done, nuking them in the microwave for 5 minutes. We put them in the oven. Why do we do that? Because it gets the cooking process started quicker. And so if you can just nuke it just a little bit, then it'll help save time in the oven, so you don't have to take so long cooking in the oven. Because when you're tired, you're home from work, you're tired and you don't feel like, you know, cooking, that's one way to do it. So
it just quickens the cooking process.
So anyway, that is one of the ways to do that. So if you're just joining us, just in case, one more little sale announcement here. Dining on a Dime Cookbook. Okay. Dining on a Dime Cookbook. Penny Pension Mama. On a chair, please. Menus on a Dime. $29. Guys, we're already about 40% sold out of all the remaining inventory we have on books. So if you want this deal, grab it. We are working with another printer, and actually one of our viewers, it's a printer right here locally, and I'm so glad she emailed, because maybe that'll work. So anyway, okay. So
if things are kind of weird tonight, we're short a man.
Dave and Ellie went on a little mini vacation.
So if we're scrambling, we're short.
So, and that's fun.
That's why Michael's back there.
Yes. All right. So we are talking about, while dinner is cooking, we are talking about single moms. Now, we get comments about single moms almost every day. We get lots of comments every day, don't we? We just get lots of comments. Between our website and YouTube and Facebook and all of that. Now, and I'm burning my hamburgers.
Notice, guys, I kept looking back at the stove. I could hear it.
No, they're not burning. I don't know why they're smoking. That's weird. Okay. So, just ignore the smoke in the background.
The smoke detector going off, just ignore that.
But one thing we always get is, I'm a single mom, but, or I'm a single mom.
Because I'm a single mom.
I can't. And so we're going to talk about some of that today. It seems like the single mom card gets played for a lot of things.
Okay, before you
So-
think we don't have compassion, understanding.
So we're going to talk about some of these things and how you can live on a dime and grow rich even as a single mom, okay? Moving my potatoes into the oven. Okay, go ahead.
I knew you were going to say that. You know, I was a single mom. I had zero support system, basically. I really, the first, year I had a little bit, but after that I had no help whatsoever. So it's not that we don't understand, and it's not that we don't have empathy, but it's getting to where it's almost like it's a badge of honor that I'm a single mom, so I can't do, I'm a single mom, so I can't such and such. I'm a working mom.
Oh my goodness, you should see the hail outside.
Oh my
What was that?
Oh my goodness.
My car.
Do you want to go put blankets?
I gotta put a blanket.
I don't know if you can, Mom. It's pretty big. Go help Mom put blankets on the car really quick. Use the one on my bed, quick. Use the one on my bed. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh guys, you should see it. Here, can you see it? Hold on, let's see if you can see it here.
It's bad.
Yeah. Can you guys see it? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Anybody left on the...
oh dear.
Your hamburger. Oh my.
Okay, now we're burning the hamburger. Hey, this is just an adventurous
So much
show.
for fixing the hair. Oh my word.
Oh, you
Those
guys
were
should
coming down.
see it.
That hurt. Those hurt.
I know, I told you not to go, that's why.
Well, I didn't want my windshield to crack. Mostly, I don't worry about the car itself, but I don't have to wait for a windshield. So, where were we before we were interrupted?
Okay, so. Oh my goodness, yes, what a mess.
Okay,
right,
single
yeah.
moms.
Single moms.
But we tend to, now we have working moms who need,
Take a
want
breath.
us to feel.
Take a moment, Mother. Let's have a moment.
We have stay-at-home moms. You got to work through it. You just work through it, Tara. You don't take a breath, especially if you're a single mom. See?
We are relaxing.
Now I got water dripping on me. And if you're a single mom, everybody has a handicap. You've heard me say this a million times. Everybody has something that they have to deal with, an illness, a mental handicap, emotional handicap, financial handicaps. We tend to think that our handicap is special, unique, and there's nobody else like it. And it's not that we don't care, but I see it happening more and more, the self-pity, the blaming, the whining and criticism. And why I hate to see that is because you are destroying not only your life by these feelings that you're feeling, but your children's. And you really, that's what we want to kind of talk about tonight. There's a lot of emotions involved with being a single mom, and anger and hurt and guilt, and you name it. And you've got to, first of all, take care of the emotions before you can handle your children, saving money, doing anything. If you don't get the emotions under control, and it's not easy, trust me. When I say you have to work at it, you have to work at it. But for your children's sake, you have to love them more than you love yourself and the emotions you're hanging on to. If you're hanging on to anger, if you're hanging on to fear, your kids are going to sense that. They're going to feel that. And they're going...
So Tina says, I have a friend who's a single mom and complains all the time. She uses this as an excuse, even though her kids are all over 22.
Silence it.
Okay. I think we should start again.
We have the weirdest weather on planet Earth.
Oh,
do.
goodness. This is getting to be too much.
I have a friend who's a single mom and complains all the time and still uses that as an excuse, even though her kids are all over the age of 22.
Yeah. Well, I had a friend, she went, and one time she was needing her car fixed. Okay, this gal had lots of money.
Pamela, it's this big.
Tons of money. And I mean, she was not hard up at all, but she needed to get her car fixed. And so she was telling me what needed to be done, and she said, I hope they'll give me a good deal because I don't want to spend that much to get this car fixed and that type of thing. And she said, well, if push comes to shove, I'll just pull the widow card out and use that to get them to give her a better deal. When she said that, I thought, that is so wrong on all levels. And you need to stop, you know, doing that. I'm just speechless because
Stop
it makes me
being
so
cheap. That is just cheap. This woman has enough money.
That's
to
taking
be
advantage
fine.
of other people.
And that's being cheap.
That's taking
and
advantage.
It's actually stealing from people.
Yeah, it is
because
taking advantage
you
of
are
them.
stealing from them by their good generosity of helping others. They could help someone else who actually needs help.
Yeah, yeah. And so don't use it, you know, like that as a badge of honor. That's what I mean by the badge of honor. Well, I'm single, so I need to have all these people help me. No, you can stand. You learn to stand on your own 2 feet. I have learned to move furniture. I have learned to lift boxes. You can't imagine what I learned to do. And you know what? You're not only taking advantage of other people, once again, it's your children. Because they see you doing this, and they're going to grow up thinking, I don't have to buck up when times get hard. If the times gets hard, then I'm just going to whine and carry on and expect somebody else to take care of me.
Yeah.
And you can't do that. And one thing too,
well, we were talking about in World War, not World
Civil
War,
War.
well, the Civil War, World War II probably too, actually, but the Civil War more. I saw a statistic one time that like 70 to 80% of the women in the Civil War were single moms after the war because so many men were killed. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, and I honestly don't remember where I saw it.
It was a huge amount.
It was a ridiculously high amount. In the Civil War, women couldn't work back then.
You didn't have anybody else to help you because they were on the same boat. Yeah.
You didn't have any of those things to take care of you. And women nowadays, honestly, they're a little spoiled. And they're not actually having to go through really, truly hard times. It's very few women who, when they get divorced, are actually going through truly, truly, truly hard times. And I say that meaning they've got child support. I know they don't always pay it. I get that. But, you know, they can work and make $40,000 to $60,000 a year. But it's their own choices that are causing the hardship. And that's kind of what we're talking about. You got to change your attitude and stop seeing it as poor me. And instead, how can I further my life to the better?
It all
in
boils
this
down to
situation?
the emotions that you're dealing with at the time. And we're going to go through some of those emotions because you can help yourself to overcome some of these. And I don't think you even want to be this way. I think deep down, you would feel so much better about yourself. You would feel have more confidence, have more self-respect. If you didn't feel these emotions in the sense that they were eating you up and controlling your life. There's nothing wrong with feeling the emotions. It's when they're controlling everything about your life that when it gets out of control and it's wrong.
Okay, so let's start with guilt.
Guilt. Get rid of the guilt. You have got to stop feeling guilty that you can't give your children everything that maybe a two-parent home could give them. That is, you know what your kids want from you? Your love. Your unconditional love. You need to love them more than you love yourself.
Yep.
And so you may not be able to give them everything. They may not be able to be in all the school activities. They may not be able to buy designer clothes anymore or do some of the after school things. And you feel so guilty because you're not doing that, and you either work harder or you're emotional basket case and you start stressing out because of that. You know what? If you have raised your kids right and taught them right, when this happens, they may be a little bit, but usually they'll understand. Kids understand when mom's doing the best she can. Mm-hmm. And one thing along with the guilt, it's kind of like, well, you guys didn't have any, I did not feel guilty at all not giving my kids the stuff that other kids were having. And I don't think that really broke your heart too much, did you? Or did you not like me anymore?
Oh, I was crushed.
I could tell. You know, but it's your attitude. When you hang on to feelings of guilt, of fear, of all these different things, your kids pick up on that. Then they start acting up and they start acting out, and they're responding. You have a little tiny baby when it's born, a new mom, and the mom's all stressed. The baby's crying. The mom's trying to calm it down and get it quiet, and the baby just cries. It's worse, and the mom gets more stressed, more upset. Grandma walks into the house and says, "Oh, you cute little thing," grabs up that little cuddly baby and loves on it. The baby stops crying. Why? Because the grandma's not stressed, the grandma's not worrying, she's not feeling guilty, fear, she's not feeling anything. And little babies pick up on those emotions, and children they're just magnets for those emotions. And part of the reasons a lot of times that your children are acting up is because they can sense those emotions. And one thing Tara too mentioned earlier today, some women tend to take, and if their children start acting up after a divorce or something like that, they say it was the fault of the divorce or losing the dad or whatever. It's not always that, because if you've raised them the way they're supposed to be raised, they should be able to get through it fine. That doesn't mean they won't be sad or hurt, but they won't have the horrible cutting up and getting into trouble and that type of thing as a child that's been raised, you know.
Well, and I was saying, I have known people, and they've been divorced, and their kids are a mess. And they're just like, "Oh, I just don't know what to do. He's just been acting this way since so-and-so left." And I'm like, "No, he's been acting this way because you aren't disciplining him, and he was acting this way before this happened." And really, if you're having issues, there's something wrong there, because really it boils down to just making sure your kids have love and discipline. And like these few moms that I've known, the one thing they always do, is they feel guilty. So every time they go to the grocery store, they buy their kid a toy, or they get an iPad, or they get their own phone, which mom can't afford in the first place. And so, you know, I never had any of those things growing up, and I think I turned out quite well.
What do you say about
Even
that,
if
Michael?
I do say so myself. But, you know, if you cannot afford a phone for your kids, you cannot afford a phone for your kids. Period. You just can't.
You would be surprised how kids that have been brought up in a certain proper way, that when hard times hit, they step up to the plate. And they understand. And it's just amazing to watch a child in that situation be brave and strong and responsible, you know, and caring. It's really something to see. But you were talking about the grocery store, the guilt. You know, you feel guilty. Not just single moms, stay-at-home moms, working moms, grandmoms, everybody. Women are really hard on themselves with the guilt thing. You know, they're not doing everything quite right. And so they come home exhausted from work, and they feel like they have to get in there and start cooking an 8-course meal. You know what? We right now, here and now, give you permission to give your kids a bowl of cereal with a piece of toast for dinner. I mean, and even let them pour their own cereal out too. I mean, you can do that.
Macaroni and cheese
Macaroni
is
and
okay.
cheese.
My grandma ate it every single day. From the time she was in elementary school until she was high school. She ate macaroni and cheese every single day, and she is 91 years old. It's not going to kill you.
She just got back from the doctor today, and the doctor said, I've never seen a heart like this before. You are so in such great shape. There's nothing wrong. But the thing is, you say, well, I need to fix healthy meals for them. You got to have, no, you don't. Well, I mean, you do, but not the kind of healthy meals we think about now.
Yeah.
You know, that we have to spend on expensive food. And your children, you can fix all the healthy meals in the world, but if you're an emotional basket case, if you're stressed out, worn out, exhausted all the time, that's going to do more damage to your children in the long run than not having healthy meals.
Yeah, so speaking of healthy meals, here's the cheesy potatoes. Stick a knife in. If they go in really super easy, they're done. You can put shredded cheese or American cheese on it.
I usually use the grated cheddar cheese, but you can use any kind of cheese you want.
I just happened to pull this out, and I got the wrong cheese out because my brain is not working today. And then you just set your cheese on top and let it melt. And then I'll show you our tasty dinner. This dinner is less than $3 for everything.
And you know what? I did research on potatoes a couple of weeks back. Those are so good for you. They have more vitamins, minerals, and things like that you just can't even imagine.
Give me a plate, Mike.
I turned the oven off, so you might want to turn the oven off because there's enough heat left in there to save it.
So that's what I'm gonna have for dinner, guys, and it's super easy.
So don't get rid of the guilt. You know, I feel like we're back and forth all over this.
Did you say don't get rid of the guilt?
I mean, get rid of the guilt. Get rid of the guilt. I mean,
because I mean, really, I would say guilt is the number one thing.
Yeah. That
single moms have of anything.
And that goes into what we were talking about when we were going to pick Jack up today. Moms get really upset, and part of it's guilt is what they feel when we get this question too all the time, what do I do because the dad buys them everything they want?
Yeah.
And I can't do that, and it makes me mad. And what do I do? Because it's just not right, it's just not fair, because I'm the one that disciplines them. I'm the one that makes them eat their broccoli. I'm the one that gets them to bed on time, and they go to dad's and they just have a free-for-all. And have a fun time. And the way I dealt with that was, although your dad didn't do that to you, but I had it in the situation of when I became a grandma. That's why I say this is going to be for everybody here. I had 2 different sets of other grandparents for my grandkids besides me. They had enough money that they could buy all kinds of wonderful things at Christmas and on their birthdays for my grandkids. And I felt really sad, and not so much guilty, but more sad and hurt that I couldn't buy them all this nice stuff. All what I had to give them was my time. The other grandparents spent almost 0 time with them at all. I mean, really, 1% time or something, and I spent hours with the grandkids.
As a matter of fact, when we broke it off with one set, my kids were just like, oh, okay. And like a year and a half, 2 years afterwards, the youngest was like, well, who is that? That shows you how involved they were. So it matters how involved you are with your kids and grandkids.
So what I'm saying was, I finally thought, no, I'm not going to deal with this and let it upset me and always make me upset at Christmas and on their birthdays. And I thought, I'm going to be excited for my grandkids. I was so grateful that he gave them a set of grandparents who can shower them with things that I couldn't afford. And I can shower them with lots of love and time and attention. And so my grandkids were going to get both things, you know. And so instead of being angry and upset because you can't give your kids everything like the dad's given them, just be grateful that he's giving them something. It may be out of guilt why he's giving it to them. It doesn't matter. Just be grateful. And when they get older, you say, yeah, but they're going to love... Now, I want you to listen to this. You're probably thinking, yeah, but they're going to love him. Do you need to show that? Oh. Well, don't let Buster get it. Don't let Buster get it. They're when they get older, they're going. Oh, what else is? I won't even say it. I won't even. That when they get older, they're going to. Now look how pretty and colorful that is.
Wait, show me closer up.
And you can do a bun or no bun, but I'm gluten-free, so I don't do a bun. And I'm going to sit here and eat while you're talking.
I know Michael's having pizza on the other side of the table. She's sitting here with this stuff, and I'm starving to death. No, but so when they get older,
Starving to death. Speaking of drama.
I'm starving to death. When they get older, you better believe they're going to know who their anchor was.
Mm.
When their boat was rocking back and forth, you were their anchor. And they'll always come back, you know, in place with their anchor. You were the one that held them together. And when the chips are down, when they're falling apart, when they're having problems, they're going to come to you. They're going to stay with you, and they're going to love you. They're going to appreciate you more because they're going to realize you gave them the hardest stuff there is to give. You sacrificed yourself, you sacrificed your time, and you love them more than yourself. Where the dad may not, usually when they give a lot of toys and stuff like that, it's because they're not spending time and they feel guilty about something they're not doing in the children's life, you know.
Yeah. Okay,
So-
we're going to have a commercial break here real quick for everybody who just joined us. Our Dining on a Dime cookbook right now is $29 with a penny pension mama and menus on a dime, which is all the menus that go with Dining on a Dime. $29 for all three, guys. So go grab those. We are selling very quickly out of those. We have sold about 40% of our inventory, and it's only the first 2 days of our sale. So usually we don't sell them quite that fast. I guess everybody just missed us. So anyway,
Someone asked if you only made 2 potatoes.
I made 3 potatoes, and no, I don't need more than that because it's just Mike and Mom and I eating tonight because David and Ellie are gone on a camping trip. And Jack, as a special treat, I let him pick whatever he wanted to eat for dinner, and he picked pizza. So none of us really wanted pizza. So I was like, okay, we'll put the pizza in the oven. We got a $3 pizza. He's not eating it all, so we'll go for lunch tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, that's what we're doing for dinner. So,
Are there any questions, Michael, while we're at a break?
No, not really questions that I have seen. Let's see.
If you have questions, put them in caps and we can see them really easy.
All right, everybody says you're looking beautiful.
Well,
and they
thank
love your
you.
haircut.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
that's really good. All right, so now we're going to get on to actually saving money if you're a single mom. Now, as we said earlier, there are some single moms who are truly destitute, like you really were.
Yeah.
Poverty. As poverty as you can get, almost. And not be homeless. But nowadays, we have noticed, I will be honest, I've not had one single mom that I've had one viewer email me, and I'm not quite sure on that situation, but everybody else, after you start talking to them, you find out they're making $40,000 a year, and you're like, okay, honey, you can be doing this. So we're going to give you some tips on things that you're going to have to do to save money when you're a single mom, okay? Number 1, the nails and the toes and the hair is probably going to have to wait.
For a few years.
I know a single mom, kind of, yeah. Anyway, $250 to $300 a month on her hair, nails, and toes. $300 a month? Are you serious? That's a car for 1 year's worth of that stuff. That is a decent used car. So those kinds of things you're gonna have to stop.
I had a friend too that once said, she said, I don't care when her husband left, I don't care how bad it gets, I'm still going to have my hair and nails done. I need it for me.
Yeah.
I need me, you know, I need to go to the gym. I'm not going to give that up.
Yeah.
You know what? When I talk about loving your kids, there is not a parent probably on this earth, even some of the worst parents, deep down they do love their kids in a weird, perverted way, maybe, but they do. But there's a difference in just loving your kids and loving your kids more than yourself. You have got to be willing to sacrifice a lot of stuff for those kids. If you're going to have kids, it may be too late now, but you need to realize it's a sacrifice. And I'm serious about the sacrificial stuff you have to do. But
you're going to have to give up some things.
But you don't have to, if you can think of other ways to do stuff too. It's just not all sacrifice. If you go to the gym all the time and say, I'm not going to give up my gym stuff, you can still exercise at home. You don't have to go to the gym to exercise. You just got to make up your mind that you may not have the social interaction. You may not have somebody cheering you on. You're just going to have to buck up and do it yourself and exercise at home. You may, I was going to say paint your nails at home. I couldn't even afford polish for a while. But you know, you can buy Dollar Tree polish if you have to.
You can get it at garage sales.
And get it at garage sales or something. So
you can ask for it as a Christmas gift.
Yeah, just think don't think of it as all or nothing. Well, I can't do it, but you've got to give up start sacrificing. That's true love for loving your children. You know,
vehicles. Okay, I know a lot of, once again, single moms. Oh, we need Mike here for your story that you had at school. Remember about the
piece of junk car?
Yeah, the piece of junk car. But here's the thing. I know several moms, they're driving new cars or even really only 1 or 2 year old used cars. Guys, the excuse is, I need a reliable car. That is an excuse. I'm sorry, it is an excuse. The fact of the matter is, you can get a much older used car, and even with car repairs and even with having to take an Uber or a taxi when your car is in being repaired, it is still tens of thousands of dollars cheaper. If you can afford the car payments, you can afford to save up for the car payments.
And it's also a myth that you can't get a reliable used car.
Yes, and it is a myth that you can't get a reliable used car. That is a huge myth.
And the thing is too, people say, well, I can't miss work. You know, if my car breaks down, I'm going to miss work. If you are a good worker, you show up on time, you show up when you're supposed to, and you happen to miss one day because your car broke down, your boss is going to understand. Trust me, if you're a good worker. And so really, here's one thing that the all or nothing type thing. Well, first of all the years I drove a used car, I never was late or missed work because my car broke down. And so, you know, those are really excuses, but here's something you can do where I say you have to sacrifice, but you maybe don't have to sacrifice completely. I finally broke down and I got AAA. It was much cheaper for me to pay AAA for 1 year than to make huge car payments on and license and insurance. Nobody ever adds that stuff in. And so it was cheaper for me to have AAA, that in case I broke down, they could haul me in, you know, and then a lot of times I got a loaner car. It was no big, you know, it's not that. Think of other ways. Stop being locked into what the world is telling you, what you hear from everybody else saying you need a new car or else, you know.
So Karen says, how dare you judge single moms? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, you're looking at a woman who raised 2 kids on $500 a month after she became sick. Before that, she raised 2 kids on $1,000 a month and paid off $35,000 of her husband's debt in her house. She is not judging anyone. She has been there. She can tell you to cut the nails and cut the new car.
Oh my.
There you go. Here's the thing,
it's
guys.
all in the attitude.
We are really knocking down the excuses, guys.
Yeah.
Seriously, it is all a bunch of excuses.
And you, go ahead.
Well, and part of this is, I know one thing people say, I get all the time, well, I can't move because I'm divorced and I have to stay in the same state as my husband. Or I can't move because I have to stay in the same city as my ex-husband. Here's the thing. You just want to make excuses for not trying to better yourself. Now, there are situations where you are truly going to be stuck. You are really, truly going to be stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Mom was truly stuck. But, as soon as we grew up, she left that neighborhood that she was in, the house that she was in, that wasn't a very great neighborhood, as soon as we were gone. Sometimes you're just going to have to hold out until the kids are grown up. And it's not going to be fun, but then you can start your life when the kids are grown up and do those things again. It's not forever.
Well, on the judging thing, it makes me really sad because it's just not for single moms, but I hear this a lot. We're wanting to be tolerant of this or acceptable of that, and you need to feel sorry for such and such or sorry for this. And you know what? If you really, really love somebody, if Tara or Mike were doing something that I thought was really hurting them, and I had the secret of how to fix their life and to change it, or that was hurting their kids, do you think I'm going to say, well, you know, you just keep doing the horrible thing to yourself that you're doing? No. I love them so much, I would say, you have got to stop this and try to do it in a caring way. You've got to change for yourself and for your children. And we're so in an environment that, well, if you say one thing critical to somebody, or it sounds critical, or what they would call a negative thing, then you're judging. No, it used to be if I see somebody walking off over a cliff, do you not think I'm going to start screaming bloody murder and say, get back and stop doing that? I would. And run after them and try to stop them because I care, because they're a person. We don't care enough now. We tell everybody to go ahead and do everything you want to do, no matter what it is. It's your right. It's acceptable. You just go do it. And then I see women sobbing and crying in pain and hurt, and I see their children hurt because everybody says, that's okay, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. And this particular person who said we were judging, her husband died, so she raised 3 kids alone. I'm sorry, but you know, I'm assuming you're an American, and if so, you got several $1,000s from Social Security to help raise those children. I'm sorry, it's just an excuse. And you guys have got to, if you want to move forward, you're gonna have to stop making excuses, take responsibility for your actions, and do the work that's needed to get your finances in order and get yourself ahead. It may take you longer because of a divorce or a loss, but
it'll take lots of strength.
You can do it. Mom is 70 years old and sitting here, she had $500 a month that we had to live on. $500 a month. I don't know one person that has ever emailed us that have said that they have lived on that much, even with the conversion for, you know, inflation, which would be probably around $1,000 or $1,200 in 2019 terms. You can do it if you really want to. It's just whether or not you want to, or if you want to have the self-pity card. And so until the self-pity stops, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, some of us need a reality check. Yeah, I mean, really, you do. Most American single parents really have it pretty well. I mean, because you can get lots and lots of help in America. It's not like we're living...
And people wonder why nobody has any confidence.
Yeah.
They don't have self-respect. And why can't our kids learn this? Well, the parents aren't teaching them this. And the only way you get these things is by you getting up and being brave and being strong and doing the best you can and not whining and say, well, poor little old me, you know, look what happened to me. I've known women that were widows in the past, and I mean, they got up and they started going to school and getting an education. They still had children at home and taking care of them. And, you know, your kids can't respect you if you're just sitting back and feeling sorry for yourself. Well, I can't do, or saying, not even feeling, I just can't do this, or expecting everybody else to do stuff for you.
Yeah.
Your kids, you can't imagine the confidence in a child when they have to try something that's hard and almost impossible, and they succeed at doing it. It's like it oozes out of them the pride and the self-confidence that they have. And good self-esteem. No wonder we don't have any of that stuff anymore, because everybody's saying, well, you're just judging me. You don't understand me. You feel
Preach
I want some...
Keep going.
But no, it's the attitude. You're robbing your children. You've got to love your children more than your feelings and what the gooky feelings that you're feeling, you know, and teach your children what to do right.
We have a YouTube comment. But my girlfriend's single mom has a $1,000 cell phone, comes to me wanting me to sign a loan because of my good credit. My answer is no. Guys, here's the thing. The best thing you can do for women who are like this, if you know them in your family or your friends, no is a complete sentence. And it is perfectly fine to say no. We had someone come to us and want us to co-sign a loan for a car that costs 3 times what we spend on our cars. I was like, yeah, no, sorry, we don't co-sign loans, and why don't you look at, why don't you think about getting a cheaper car?
You know what you don't realize is if somebody came up to you and said, will you give me some drug money for drugs? You wouldn't hesitate in saying no, would you? I would hope most people would say no, because you'd be enabling them to do those drugs. If somebody has problems with their money and taking care of themselves and doing stuff like this, and like Tara's situation she just mentioned, if you had said yes, you would be enabling them to keep in the same situation, same cycle over, and they would never get out of it, to stand on their 2 feet, you know, and start doing better.
Yay! Oh, he came home to visit Nan. Of course, we won't mention it's only because he wants to do laundry.
He walked in with his laundry basket.
If you saw, but there's a question if the $500 was just regular living expenses or also utilities and all that.
It was everything.
You might rephrase the question in case they didn't hear me.
So the question was Mom's $500 a month regular expenses, or did that include utilities and everything? That paid for our car, that paid for our utilities, that paid for our house, that paid for our taxes, our food, our clothes, our entertainment. Absolutely everything was included in that. And if you haven't heard that story, you can go back and watch our Penny Pinching Mama series. We did a whole series, Mom and I, on that and how she did that. It's on YouTube. Click playlists and go to Penny Pinching Mama, and that's on there.
And it's not just me. I've known lots of people who've done this. As a matter of fact, I was telling Tara earlier, I said, you know, I know more families where the moms had to struggle, but they did it with honor and dignity, and they taught their kids this stuff, and those kids went on, in spite of not having any money and all the things that the moms thought they should have, they went on and made a great success of their life. You talk to a lot of successful people, and they were in these types of situations. Oh, I don't have numbers, so I hate to say more so, but equally as parents that have two parents at home with 2 parents, and that type of thing, or wealthy parents. You know, I'm not saying wealthy parents don't have kids that succeed, but it's equal. It's a matter of mindset. It doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter, you know, how rich your parents are. If you have 2 parents, if you live and come from a home where there's love and self-respect and self-esteem and respect for each other taught, you're going to come out of that home succeeding.
Lori says, I don't know how she fed you guys. So go back, once again, YouTube, playlists, Penny Pinching Mama, the whole series is on there. She tells how we did our groceries. Our groceries at one point were $7 a week. For all of those naysayers, well, that was $7 back in 1980, whatever. Yes, that equals $35 a week now, and I don't know many people who would be willing to buy groceries for $35 a week now. But it can be done, and we have done it. And we actually have an article on our website, how to do groceries for a family of 4 for $25 for a week. So,
and the very most we did was, at one point when I got sick, I had $8,000 for 3 years. I happened to have paid my home off, thank goodness I'd done that. And so then we just had $3,000 for that for 3 years.
So we had a couple of questions on cars. Do we prefer Honda over Toyota? I like both of them. We like both of them just about equal. It just depends on what we get. Mileage-wise, we try to always get a car with under 100,000 miles. We try to spend about $3,500 on a car, give or take, is what Mike and I do for our cars. And I'll tell you, we have to look through 10 to 15, sometimes 20 cars to find a good grandma car that, you know, she didn't drive around very much and doesn't have many miles. But we always find them. You have to be patient and just keep looking and keep looking. Tell every person you know. This is another thing for single moms. If you have a need, tell them in a nice way. Say, I'm looking for a new Toyota car for me. My car's about to die. I need something for about $3,500. If you guys hear of something, please let me know. If you have friends or family who have kids that are older than your kids, say, you know what? If you're going to give those clothes to the thrift store, can I buy them from you instead? And 9 times out of 10, they'll just give them to you. But I have friends who have sold me their kids' clothes for like $1 a piece. And I'm like, thanks, I'll take them. And so those are other ways that you can get things that you need. Why are you cocking your head at me? Get things that you need with little money.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
I was going to say on the car thing real quick. Of course, it always helps to bring a guy because, unfortunately, it's the sad reality that people will try less to take advantage of the guy. But if you're looking at a car, what we've discovered is if you drive it, like test drive it a little bit, test everything. If anything doesn't work, we usually don't get it.
With the radio off.
With the radio off.
And then when you park it at the end, park it like ideally away from them and get underneath it and see if anything is dripping from the engine. And if there is, don't get it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much anything that looks like it's out of place, we don't get it.
Yeah.
So.
And have we ever traveled outside our area to buy a cheaper car? Yes. Mike and I one time bought a car off of eBay from Florida. We looked for a seller that had nothing but 5 stars and a lot of 5 stars. I think they had over 100 5 stars. And then we went to Florida to get it. And there are eBayers who will refund your plane ticket, or if you fly somewhere to look at your car, they will refund that if you decide not. They will give you that money if you decide not to buy the car. So
now you see there's an underlying thread here. They worked, they figured out how to do it. That's part of the secret is start thinking. Say, how can I do this differently? How can I replace this with something? If I can't go buy this, how can I fix it? How can I use something in place of it? We've gotten a little complacent, a little lazy nowadays. It's just, well, if it's not working, I'm just going to go buy me this new something or another. Learn to make do. You know, I think that's what a lot of the difference between years ago and now. And what I really get frustrated with is the environmentalists hollering about, you know, we need to save the environment. But at the same time, they're buying and using lots of products instead of teaching, well, save your plastic, which is fine, you know, don't use so much plastic. But I don't have trash. I have no trash because I try to reuse stuff over and over again. I try to figure out how can I replace this with something I already have. That's the best way to save the environment, really, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And do that type of thing. And so start thinking, how can I do this? When I was talking about lifting and moving things, I had to figure out how I can move that chest of drawers. Well, I finally figured out if I put a rug underneath it, I could drag it into the other room. You know, that way. You think of little things on how, just don't sit there, well, and feel sorry for yourself. Get up and start thinking, work. Think, what can I do?
Yeah. Yeah, and stop blaming the politicians, guys. Oh, my word. I could do a 4-hour show on that.
Stop blaming anything. Society, what are you doing paying attention to this stuff? I had to pay attention to my life. And because I was so busy and working so hard and trying to figure things out, I didn't have time to worry about what the politicians, what society thought about me, or what, you know, what was acceptable and not acceptable. I couldn't dwell on that. I had a life to live, and I had to do it by myself. And so.
Yeah. Marie says, I'll buy cheap now so when I'm debt-free I can drive something nice. Exactly.
Exactly.
That's the whole point of living on a dime to grow rich. You live on a dime now so you can grow rich and then pay for the things you want to pay for. Like for us, it was going to Europe. You may want a new car. I have absolutely no problem with you buying a totally brand new car. If you pay cash for it and that's something that's important for you, fine. But only if you're 100% debt free.
And I took it a little bit farther. I was careful and I saved money and I taught my kids to save money, and now they can take care of me, and I don't have to work anymore.
There you go.
Isn't that the way to do it? That's my retirement money.
I wanted to know how to do healthier potatoes and rice. Actually, potatoes and rice are very
healthy.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop worrying about what you're eating.
The stress over worrying about it is causing more problems than the...
Just eat less food. A serving of rice is a half a cup. A serving of potato is a medium potato, okay? So stop getting 2 and 3 servings of mashed potatoes. You know, that's Google potatoes. We don't look this stuff up to really check it out. Google a potato and see what nutrients and vitamins are in there, and you'd be surprised what a potato will do. They push potatoes like crazy for a healthy food. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see.
You can leave the cheese off too if you want to, but.
There's just a lot of people saying great things about your shirt and your hair and everything else.
Oh, well, thank you,
and
guys.
People love your shirt, dear. And...
Oh, thanks. Now I did buy this new.
Alice says.
I will say this is one of the things I bought when we became debt free.
All
to
right.
celebrate. So.
And Alice said you had me at cheesy potatoes.
So BJ, how's it living on your own? Are you eating? Are you sure?
He's looking healthy.
How's my new grandbaby?
Mother.
Oh.
They're gonna think things that aren't.
He got 2 kittens when he moved in. 2 adorable kittens, everybody.
I had a child.
Listen to you. He got 2 kittens when he moved in. They're just really cute. They're sisters. One's blind, and he got the sister to help the little blind one.
I accidentally confused the blind one and she peed on my clothes.
You confused the blind one and she peed on your clothes. What did you do?
I moved the litter box about 5 feet over. And
you moved the litter box. Oh no, and she couldn't find it.
Did you help her out? Oh man.
Oh dear. That's why you're over here doing laundry. It wasn't to see Nan. It's to do laundry.
Oh brother.
Yes, Noah's Ark too.
No, of course I want to see Nan.
There were 2 kittens. One of them was mostly blind, and they were sisters, and they wanted to adopt them together.
Keep them together, yeah.
So BJ was all about that.
Yeah.
All right, for those of you who stuck with us this long, we are doing a giveaway. These cookbooks are actually signed by Mom, and I'll sign them too. And we're doing 2 giveaways. 1 is just for the giveaway because I felt like doing it today. 2 is because our wonderful viewer Phyllis won a book and said she already had it, so to give it to someone else.
Oh my goodness.
So we are going to do that. Thank you, Phyllis. I think Phyllis must have a lucky aura coming towards her because I think this is the 2nd or 3rd time she has actually won something. So anyway, we're going to do a giveaway for each one. Okay, so go ahead and comment. Leave a comment. I don't care what you say. You can say an X. You can say how wonderful we are. I don't care. We're going to give you like 2 minutes because it's delayed to catch up on commenting. And then we're going to go through and pick a comment on there while I look for any other last questions. Amy T, stop eating 3 giant cookies a day and eat your potatoes. I have to remind myself of this sometimes too. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's what it boils down to, guys. And, you know, really, it's what it boils down to.
If you have any questions, guys, for me, please ask them quick. I won't be here after this.
Yeah, so Mom's going home after this. She's not going to be here. Okay, so we got everybody on here. We're going to go through Facebook first. Here we go. Tell me when to stop, Mom.
Now.
Tell me when to stop. We are on Sandy Perry. Okay, so Sandy, email me editor@livingonadime.com. Tell me you won the signed Jill cookbook. Okay, and now here we go. YouTube. Are you ready, Mom?
Right now.
We are on Janice Atkins. Janice Atkins.
How do you spell it?
Atkins.
Yay.
You went the second one. Oh, I missed my chance. I could have given him a kiss.
BJ, you could have given BJ a kiss.
Email me editor@livingonadime.com and tell me you won the signed book, guys. What?
Oh, Janice has just been very involved in the show tonight. And then I look in the comments, it says me.
Who's been very involved?
Janice.
Who just won?
Oh,
just
Janice,
won.
who just won. Oh, that's great. We're going to start. Mike, put the link for the sale one more time, guys. So, for those of you who haven't missed it, Dine and a Dime, Penny Pinch and Mama, and our menus ebook. These are the menus that go with the recipes in dining. $29 for all three, guys. $29 for all three. We only have about 500 to 600 sets left, is all we have left. So if you want it, I'm just telling you, don't say I didn't warn you. We've had a printer issue and we have gotten behind and we may be on back order. If we don't get our printer issue resolved like within the next week or 10 days.
We're actually trying to get more than one.
We're actually working on having two printers.
So we can
have a backup.
And you know why we're
for
having
some-
trouble? Our book is so thick. That's
Yeah.
why it's such a good deal. It's so
Yeah.
thick that the printers are having
binding
issues because you get a lot of stuff in our book.
Almost 600
lot.
pages, guys. Almost
So-
600 pages. And everybody says they save on their first trip to the grocery store. Here's the link again right there for the sale. Michael put it in. Please like, subscribe, and share. We will be back on Monday because Mike and I are going to talk about how we saved $1 million. So, you might want to watch the show. We will see you guys then. Have a good week.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Oh, I guess I'm supposed to stop.
You're
the show.
supposed
You're
to stop
supposed to
it.
stop.
See you guys on Monday on the comments.
You are supposed to stop.
Stretch.
Stretch. You're in control tonight, Michael.
BJ!
Oh.